Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the latest updates on global conflicts and geopolitical tensions. In today's video, we'll be diving deep into the escalating tensions between the United States and China in the South China Sea. Specifically, we'll focus on the recent incident where a U.S. warship boldly challenged China's dominance in the Spratly Islands. Let's get started. The Chinese military accused an American warship of trespassing in disputed waters in the South China Sea on Tuesday after the U.S. actively challenged China's contentious claims for the third time this year. The U.S. Navy's Japan-based 7th Fleet said U.S. Chancellorsville, a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser, asserted navigational rights and freedoms near the Spratly Islands, an archipelago claimed by half a dozen governments in the region, but most forcefully by Beijing. At the conclusion of the operation, U.S. Chancellorsville exited the excessive claim area and continued operations in the South China Sea, it said of the Freedom of Navigation Operation, or FONOP. Qian Junli, a spokesperson for the People's Liberation Army, PLA, Southern Theater Command, said the U.S. warship illegally entered the waters near the islands, which China calls Nansha. Chinese naval and air forces shadowed and expelled the American cruiser, Han said. China asserts maritime rights over nearly the entirety of the energy-rich South China Sea by dint of its territorial claims to all islands and reefs in the area, in defiance of a 2016 ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague that dismissed these assertions. China has indisputable sovereignty over the islands in the South China Sea and their adjacent waters, Tian said. Beijing's insistence is a common cause of friction with other regional claimants. During a visit to the Philippines last week, Vice President Kamala Harris said the 2016 decision to reject Beijing's maritime claims was legally binding and must be respected. Manila is among Washington's oldest allies in Asia, and an attack on Philippine forces in the South China Sea would trigger U.S. defense obligations. The Chancellorsville's FONOP was the Navy's third in the waters this year, and its first since mid-July. The same ship was involved in a transit of the Taiwan Strait in August, another type of operation that similarly seeks to challenge Chinese claims over vital international shipping lanes. China tends not to advertise instances when the U.S. Navy pushes back against its claims in disputed waters. More often than not, its statements follow publications by the U.S. military, which it accuses of violating Chinese sovereignty and creating risks in the South China Sea. In an update to its original communiqué, the 7th Fleet said China had misrepresented lawful U.S. maritime operations in the region. The operation reflects our continued commitment to uphold freedom of navigation and lawful uses of the sea as a principle, it said. In a rare response to the Navy's standard rebuttal, China's Southern Command rebuked the U.S. for quibbling over the incident. It shared images of a PLA Navy sailor monitoring the U.S. warship at the time of the operation. In another sign of the fierce narrative competition in the information space, the Chinese statement included an illustrative map claiming the Chancellorsville made a sharp left turn before sailing past fiery cross reef known as Yangshu, in Chinese one of three reefs. The U.S. believes China has fully militarized. Unlawful and sweeping maritime claims in the South China Sea pose a serious threat to the freedom of the seas, including the freedoms of navigation and overflight, free trade, and unimpeded commerce, and freedom of economic opportunity for South China Sea littoral nations, the 7th Fleet said. The Navy's previous FONOPs in the South China Sea in 2022 were conducted by Arleigh Burke-class destroyer U.S. Benfold, which sailed near the Spratlys on January 18 before challenging China's claims to the Paracel Islands 2 days later. The Benfold conducted a similar double FONOP between the Paracels and Spratlys on July 13 and 16, leaving open the possibility of the Chancellorsville doing the same this week. The South China Sea has long been a contentious area, with multiple countries asserting their territorial claims over various islands and waters. The Spratly Islands, located in this region, have become a focal point of disputes, as they are strategically positioned and believed to possess abundant natural resources. China, claiming historical rights over the area, has constructed military installations and artificial islands, asserting its dominance over the region. This has caused concern among neighboring countries, including the United States, which has consistently emphasized the importance of freedom of navigation and peaceful resolution of conflicts. The Spratly Islands, located in the South China Sea, have long been a source of contention between several Southeast Asian nations and China. These islands are strategically important due to their rich natural resources and their location, which allows control over vital shipping lanes. The United States has been closely monitoring China's expansionist activities in the region, and tensions have been steadily rising. In recent years, China has been constructing military installations and artificial islands, bolstering its presence in the Spratly Islands. This has alarmed neighboring countries and drawn international criticism. The United States, as a staunch ally of many nations in the region, has taken steps to challenge China's growing dominance. Enter the U.S. Warship name, a formidable presence in the South China Sea. This U.S. warship recently conducted a highly significant operation near the Spratly Islands, directly challenging China's claims to the region. In response, China swiftly dispatched one of its warships to monitor and confront the U.S. vessel. The incident escalated tensions even further, with both sides refusing to back down. This confrontation between the U.S. and China has triggered concerns among regional powers and the international community. The South China Sea, already a hotbed of territorial disputes, is now at the center of a potential military confrontation. Resolving the complex territorial disputes in the South China Sea requires diplomatic efforts and multilateral cooperation. While the confrontation between the U.S. and China warships highlights the existing challenges, dialogue and negotiations remain essential for a peaceful resolution. All parties involved should engage in meaningful dialogue to address their concerns and seek common ground. Open communication channels can foster understanding and pave the way for cooperative solutions. Encouraging multilateral cooperation through platforms like the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, can provide a framework for peaceful negotiations and promote regional stability. Collective efforts can lead to the establishment of mechanisms that ensure the equitable sharing of resources and the peaceful coexistence of nations. Upholding international law and adhering to established norms are crucial for resolving disputes. Countries should respect the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, and utilize its mechanisms to settle conflicts peacefully. The recent confrontation between a U.S. warship and a Chinese warship in the Spratly Islands operation highlights the complex territorial disputes in the South China Sea. This incident serves as a reminder of the ongoing geopolitical tensions and the need for peaceful resolution through dialogue and multilateral cooperation. Upholding international law and promoting stability in the region are paramount to prevent further escalations and ensure a peaceful coexistence among nations. That concludes today's video on the escalating tensions in the South China Sea. Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay informed about the latest developments in this ongoing conflict. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.